Hola, boys and girls. Me llama Selena. Good afternoon, boys and girls. This is Selena, who is Simon's twin sister. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Selena. I am Selena, and Simon is my twin brother. We were born on the same day, but we are different. Why are you different, Selena? Because, Miss Mobley, I am a girl and he is a boy. And yes, Selena, just like the word we looked in the book, different. And the little girl was sad because her garden did not look the same as her neighbors. They were different. Selena, can you tell us why Simon is not here? Yes, I am sad because my brother went outside and played in the garden and he did not wash his hands when he came back inside. So, boys and girls, remember, it is very pertinent that you practice your hand washing skills all day long. Now, I am going to demonstrate just as well as my brother did. First, I will wash my hands. Miss Mobley, can you give me some soap? I certainly can, Selena. Now, I will count. How many times will I count? How long, boys and girls? 20 seconds. And I'm going to choose the numbers in Spanish. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, siete, ocho, nueve, diez, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 20. I counted from 1 to 20. Now I will dry my hands. Okay, Boys and girls, Miss Mobley is going to read the story to you. Have a good day. Good afternoon, boys and girls. Again, we're going to continue our story. Can you recollect the story? It is called Ugly Vegetables. And remember our word that I told you all to go over, excuse me, was different and sad. Just as well as Selena and I are feeling bad about Simon because he doesn't feel well. But I'm sure once he gets some rest, he will be back on next week. Now, let's continue our story. Before long, our vegetables grew. Some were big and some were lumpy. Boys and girls, what about that word lumpy? What does lumpy mean? I think lumpy means when something is it's not the same. It has different spots in it. One spot is small, one is big, lumpy. Some were thin, green, and covered with bumps. Some were just plain icky yellow. They were ugly vegetables. Sometimes I would go to the neighbors and look at their pretty gardens. They would show the poppies and peonies and petunias to me, and I would feel sad. There's our key word, boys and girls, sad. That our garden wasn't as nice. One day, my mother and I picked the vegetables from the garden. We filled a whole wheelbarrow full of them. We wheeled them to the kitchen. My mother washed them and took a big knife and started to chop them. Boys and girls, let's think for a minute. What do you think they're going to do after they chop those vegetables? What are they going to do with them? Let's read and find out. Alayo, she said when she cut them. She had to use her muscles. And remember, boys and girls, when you drink lots of milk and eat your vegetables, you will have strong muscles just as well. The best vegetables were hard and tough. This is a viola uruguayo. Mommy said, handing me a bumpy, curled vegetable. She pointed at the other vegetables. This is X gon K. That's a to ha ha. I went outside to play. While I was playing catch with Mickey, a magical aroma filled the air. Boys and girls, what is an aroma? An aroma is something that you smell. It's an odor. Just as well as when your parents are cooking, you'll smell something. That's called an aroma. I saw the neighbors standing on their porches with their eyes closed, smelling the sky. They took deep breaths off the air like they were trying to eat the smell. That's interesting. It must have smelled very good for them to fantasize outside, imagine. The wind carried up and down the street. Even the bees and the butterflies seemed to smell the scent in the breeze. I smelled it too. It made me hungry, and it was coming from my house. Remember how she said those vegetables so ugly? Now she's intrigued to see the ending results when Mommy cooked them. When I thought the smell to my house, my mother was putting a big bowl of soup on the table. The soup was yellow and red and green and pink. This is a special soup, Mommy said, and she smiled. She gave me a small bowl full of it, and I tasted it. It was so good. The flavors of the soup seemed to dance in my mouth and laugh all the way to my stomach. That means she's really enjoying those vegetables, and it appears to be she's no longer what? She's not sad anymore. Do you like it, Mommy asked? I nodded and held my bowl out for some more. It was made from our vegetables, she told me. Remember how she thought those vegetables so ugly? But now she's enjoying the taste of them. Then the doorbell rang and we ran to open the door. Wonder who could it be at that door, boys and girls? Let's see. Now look at how happy she is. And see the aroma coming up? That's the smell of those vegetables. All our vegetables standing at the door and holding flowers. The neighbors were smelling those vegetables. We noticed you were cooking, Mr. Fitzgerald laughed as he held out his flowers. We thought maybe you would be interested in a trade. What's a trade, boys and girls? That means they're going to exchange something. They're going to give her something and she will give them something. Oh, let's see. We laughed. And my mother gave each of them a bowl of her special soup. My mother told them what each vegetable was and how she grew it. She gave them the soup recipe and put some soup into jars for them to take home. I ate 5 bowls of soup. That was very nice of the mother, boys and girls, because she shared. And remember, we should always share with everyone. Our mommies, our daddies, our friends, our brothers and sisters. Look how everyone is so happy. And if you can see again, see the aroma coming up, the smell of those delicious vegetables. It was the best dinner ever. Everyone is so happy and smiling. The next spring, when my mother was starting the garden, we planted some flowers next to the Chinese vegetables. Miss Kumun, the Fitzgeralds, and the Angleholes planted some Chinese vegetables next to their flowers. Soon the whole neighborhood was growing Chinese vegetables in their gardens, up and down the street. Little green plants poked out of the ground. Some looked like leaves and some looked like grass. And when the flowers started blooming, do you remember that word, boys and girls? Blooming. What does blooming mean? That means that they are growing. They have blossomed. They're constantly blooming, growing. You could smell the soup in the air. All right, boys and girls, close your eyes And let's use our imagination. We're going to pretend. That's what our imagination is. We're going to think in our head and pretend that we're smelling those vegetables. I see them in my head, in my imagination. I'm pretending. It's not real, but I'm pretending. I'm imagining those vegetables. The end. And see how everybody is fellowshipping, playing together? Because the little girl is now happy. She thought those vegetables were ugly, but the end results, they grew and she ate them and they smell delicious. The end. Thank you, boys and girls. Thank you for the story. Thank you for the story. Thank you very much so much. So we'll tune in next week and hopefully Simon will be back. Bye-bye, boys and girls. My brother, I'm going to go home and take care of him to make sure he's feeling okay. And I'm going to give him some vegetables as well and lots of water. Thank you for the good story, Miss Mobley. You're more than welcome, Selena. And please go home. When you go home, tell Simon I said hi and I hope he feels better. Have a good evening, boys and girls.